Good evening, everybody. Hope y'all are doing well tonight. Thank you for being here. Already messing stuff up. Good to see everybody this evening. It's been a couple of weeks. Scroll back up here. The camera's a little different. The lighting's a little different. Kind of by accident, but I thought my computer crashed today. I had to hard reset it twice, and it finally came back into it, so everything's moved around and messed up. Let's see. True American Loretta, Hutch, good to see you guys. Widgets World, Maine, good to see you guys. James Davis, Blue Vandal, Cat Lady, Random JL, Independent Marine, good to see you guys. Let's see. Ashley, good to see you. Joe Morgan, good to see you. Let's see here. I think that might catch me a Coral Tigger, good to see you. Flowgrown, good to see you, my friend. Rob, PMP, good to see you. No, you weren't late. I was late. I think that catches me up. Good deal. I'm gonna let's see. We'll throw this up, let it run for a little bit, just because a couple weeks ago it kind of heated in chat, which is fine. It's okay to disagree, but calling people out that's on my panel and trying to pick fights—that's not cool with me. So, just saying. KY Survival, good to see you. That Galaxy Rapper, good to see you. I am doing well tonight, James. Audio stink. Hold on, let me figure this out real quick. I'll be right back. Is that any better at all? I know there's no visual right now, but is the audio any better? All right. Good deal. All right. Sorry about that. Hey, Shorty, good to see you. Like I said, I had to mess with the computer earlier, and I messed up a bunch of stuff. B&B home. Good to see it. Sounds like a plan. Good to see you. And the red glow, you can probably hear them. I got 6 new babies over here in the brooder box. Had 8, lost 2. So I'm in a med space suit for so we'll not be able to chat. Mr. B says hi. So I will definitely be praying for you, B&B. Write that down. Let's see if I let a pen. That works. Definitely be praying for you guys. Well, this is good. Good news. France has been speaking with U.S. and Russia and proposed a summit for tomorrow, provided no one invades. Ain't nobody gonna invade. I mean, I really don't. They might. If they do, it'll be because of false flag. It'll be a setup to where they have to. I think that's my opinion. I think it's a lot of smoke and mirrors. Jerry Robbins, good to see you. I mean, I clearly don't want anything to happen to me. I don't want anybody to invade or anything, but I think we got a lot more pressing issues closer to home, really. I mean, because we're supposed to, our convoy is supposed to strike up pretty soon. I don't know why it would be echoing again. I didn't touch anything. Been a long day. Bought a truck last week. Had to put a fuel pump in it today. Man, that's rough, KY. They're just going to keep poking us over and over and over, then wonder why they bite their hand off. Yep. Oh, Mandy and Tank are doing great, cat lady. She's actually, we're babysitting tonight. Wasn't supposed to be, but either Mandy watched the kids so the girl could go to work, or Mandy would have to go to work because it's her mom that works with her. So, yeah, no. If Tater tries a Trudeau trick, it's going to get wild around the states. Oh, it absolutely will. And I see that's what I don't think our convoy will get nearly as off the ground as Canada did. That's my personal opinion. For me personally, I think if we're to make this a fair, not like I drive, but you know, not we as in me specifically, but the truckers, I think the most effective thing for them would just be park the trucks. Don't try to do the convoy, just park them. It'd have the same uh, consequences, really, I think. It'd keep everybody a lot safer because I think if they take off like they did in Canada, it's going to end a lot differently. It'll be a bloodbath. Proof we're in the end times. You can marry your brother-in-law, and there are Toyotas in the Daytona 500. Rural King, flow ground. And I think next time, I watch a lot of homesteading stuff, and Murray McMurray Hatchery, that seems to be a one that a lot that the homesteaders buy from. So I think that's going to be, if I can afford it next time, because you have to buy, I think it's a 15 chick minimum through Murray McMurray, but it's free shipping and so. Hey, Papa in chat. I'm working, but I'll try to listen. Well, thank you, Blue Vandal. I appreciate you. Hey, Arkansas living. Yeah, that's what I mean. Everybody has the same. Nobody has a bad word to say about McMurray. That's probably where I'll go next time. Just don't park the Amazon trucks. I got too many prep orders I'm waiting on. Flow ground. I was just at Tractor Supply and the sign said chicks coming soon. LOL. Yeah, we just had our well, I think it's 2 weeks long. They have their chick week or chicken week, whatever. Like the feed and everything's on sale. The chickens are only $3 a piece. They did have like an amazing amount of meat turkeys. The white ones, they were $7 a piece though, so I didn't get any of those. But I mean, they had everything from, which I mean, if you want silkies and stuff, they had them. But I'm not about that because that's just, that's a hobby kind of bird. But I mean, they had everything for $3 a piece. I can't get Mandy to pull the trigger on goats, cat lady. I want a pair because I would like to breed a pair to have milk and stuff, but I just can't get Mandy to pull the trigger on it. Hey, Big German, good to see you. And before I go any further, uh, we done Ark Wildman Survival. We done his fundraiser 2 weeks ago, and or not 2 weeks ago, last week. I'm sorry, whenever that was, Thursday or Friday, I can't remember. But there was kind of a miscommunication between me and the mods. I thought they were writing people down, and they thought I was writing people down. And I've got the attention span of a squirrel sometimes. So from two of us going back and rewatching the chat, I've got a list of people here. And if somebody shouldn't be on here, please fess up and let me know so I can take you off. And if we missed your name, please let me know so I can get you on here. Uh, so you guys can get in on the giveaway. I've got, I don't know how many seeds we bought. I mean, it's not a huge giveaway, but it's several packs of seeds, a lot of heirlooms, starter, little biodegradable cups. I can't remember what all we got, but I just want to make sure that everybody that wants to be in can be. And so far, we've got Loretta, Jeep Girl, Jennifer Cruz, Rob, PMP, which said he doesn't want to be in the giveaway. And if that's not true, if that's not correct, let me know. Tiger 454, Klingon, Father Son Prepping, Sherry Leach, Monty, Stewart. I don't know who those are. Catskills, D Ladybug, Blue Vandal, Ashley, Chris Pyatt, Kim Starling, and Terry Files. Okay, Rob does not want in, so I will mark him off. But thank you, brother. I appreciate you donating. Hey, Tamara, good to see you. Thank you for being here. You're correct, C7. Thank you very much, Mames. I appreciate that. Mames sent me some Cherokee purple tomato seeds. When they got here, they weren't Cherokee purple. The box said they were, but the pack wasn't. So I let her know. I didn't know if it was like the same, like the right seed, but by a different name, and they sent me the wrong thing. And I guess she got them all straightened out. And also, um, B&B Home. I'm not sure if I ever publicly thanked you, but they sent me a decent amount of seeds and some other things for Christmas, and I want to thank you for that. Papa Prepper Ash said shouldn't. Okay. All right. I will. And that's perfectly understandable, Ash. I get it. Trust me. If we can raise 200 for two, his house will be paid off and a huge loss off his plate. I must have missed something. Just a second. Papa Prepper, we the people needs help bad. Maybe we can do a fundraiser to help him. He's losing everything. Okay. You write that down. Let me get a hold of Dan and see what's going on. Thank you, cat lady. Carry me away. Good to see you. Thank you for being here. Papa Prepper, I think Carrie was on that. Okay. I must have missed her. I'll add her up there. Thank you, Joe. Cora, I didn't have really too bad of. I mean, mine came into it really late. Like mine started doing really good, and then the frost started coming. But I don't understand it. I don't know if it's because last year was so wonky with the weather. I don't know. It's like everything, like just like my peppers. My peppers did. Once they came into it, I got so many peppers last year, but everything was just so late. Hey, Gary Bulldog, good to see you. 2,000, not 200. I mean, we can set something up. We can try. We can do like we did last year because I know he heard not last year, last week with Ark Wildman. Because I know Dan has PayPal and stuff. It's just to me, it's easier that way just to send money straight to the individual that needs it instead of like super chats and stuff because so much money gets stolen doing it that way from YouTube. By YouTube gets their cut. It's just you lose so much money going through YouTube. I bet they didn't like that response, German. They actually came and asked you why you wasn't using so much energy. That wow. Now here, energy costs have went through the roof. I mean, ours is we're on a not budget billing, but it's like a pay as you go thing. It's like you pay so many days in advance, and it's on your phone. It tells you exactly how much you're using every day, and blah blah blah. Well, our usage isn't going up, but buddy, those dollars are because we usually run like $4 to $6, $7 a day, and then like about the first week into January, it started shooting up to where it was like $10 to $12 a day, and then it'll go back down a little bit, and it jumps back up to like $11 a day, and nothing changes. I mean, it hasn't been that cold, It's just they're messing with us. Oh, absolutely, KY. RSD, for example, RSD Prepper. She lives in a little bitty 2-bedroom trailer, mobile home. I mean, it's a new one. Well, not new. It's 7 years old. I mean, it's very well insulated. She usually runs 150 a month, something like that. Hers jumped to like 270 last month for no reason whatsoever. I mean, it's insane. Thank you, Vandal, for throwing that up. I appreciate it. I'm trying to get my kid's been so busy. I mean, she makes T-shirts and stuff now, and I'm wanting her to start doing my Papa Prepper merch or whatever. But she's just, it's like every holiday, which is good. I mean, she's doing great with her T-shirt business. But I want her to start doing my Papa Prepper merch. That way I'm not, again, because like Teesprings, you have to charge a certain amount for a shirt or you can't sell them. And I think some of their prices are just like insane, And then you add in all the extra hidden fees and costs. And I haven't sold a T-shirt. I think Name's Legacy, bless her heart, she's the last one that bought a T-shirt. Yeah, we got more ice coming Thursday. I've seen that, Coral. Oh, I would absolutely much rather keep the money in the family. Yeah, I mean, I know that might sound greedy, but I mean, it helps my kid. Who wouldn't do that? I mean, I I wouldn't make nothing off of it, really. I mean, I just let her, do her thing, and she's good at it. I just came in from the grocery store, spent $230. Granted, it's been a while, but I bought things like Winco saltines for $1.18, chunky soup. I was shocked. I've been eating preps for a while. Yes, the costs. See, knock on wood, we're staying fairly stocked here, like the stores. But man, the prices are becoming insane. I actually brought home a printout that I was going to do a video on. I just never got time. At Circle K, beginning of this month, was our transition or whatever, price markups, markdowns. Wow, you would not imagine the prices. Which, I mean, it's a convenience store. Granted, convenience stores are higher anyway, but man, it's astronomical. Hey, there's Arkwall, man. Good to see you, brother. I hope you're staying warm. I've heard about that KY, and I actually seen, I think Jason Angry Prepper done a video on it. I haven't seen it here yet. Yeah, I've read it's going on in a lot of places. One thing I have noticed that we're short on, like at Walmart and stuff like that, is pasta. Like the expensive type pasta is still there, but like the Sam's Choice, and it's like the most expensive pasta is all that's left. Man, it says right here, Coral, no fear mongering. That means talk of snow, especially 10 inches. That's a threat. I do want to share with you guys. This will be my praise report for the week. I was blessed, beyond blessed this week. Uh, I was gifted a solar powered poultry net. Any of you guys might use them or watch homesteading channels. They use them a lot, so you can move your chickens around to where you want them to work the ground. And I was fortunate enough to have that gifted to me. It was 84 feet of fence, the solar charger, the power supply, everything. I got all that set up this evening or today. And you talk about some happy chickens. It's the first time they've really been out in the grass. And it was, once they figured it out, it was really awesome to watch them. I mean, like their whole demeanor changed. It's really cool to watch them out in the fresh grass. And on a negative side of things, a couple of you know already, I, most likely, somebody's not happy in there. I'll most likely not be working at Circle K anymore because one of the other cashiers that worked there decided to get a bee in her bonnet, we'll just put it that way, and started raising the stink because me and Mandy are married. And they called HR about it, which I was hired in there. They knew I was Mandy's husband. And I think it was, as long as nobody complained about it kind of thing, it'd be okay. Somebody decided to complain about it. So my second income is probably out the door unless they can land something for me at another town, which, I mean, it would have to be, it'd almost be pointless for me to drive to another town for that little. I mean, I'm not going to say a little bit of money because that was helping me out a lot. That blessed us. It bought a lot of preps. I'm not just saying that because I have a prepping channel. That's the God honest truth. It bought buckets and Mylar and, stuff like that we really needed. But anyway, so that's my up and down for the week. Hey, Dan, good to see you, man. I wrote down a note about you this evening. I was going to email you here after a while. See if we could get together and try to help you out a little bit. It's amazing how selfish some people are. Yeah, and that's what it boils down to because she thinks she needs more hours. Well, Mandy already hired somebody to replace me, so she's going to get the hours anyway, which is kind of instant karma. So, whatever. And a lot of the people, I mean, our customers, I was the only guy there. A lot of guys come in there every morning. They stand and talk to me, and shoot the breeze. And they're actually pretty upset that I had to go. So, well, call corporate. Go ahead, tell them for me. Before I forget about it. But we'll put you on our prayer list. We the people. And we're going to do what we can to help you guys out. I am Big German. Thank God. My medical or my religious exemption, they accepted it, and actually just got the letter in the mail Friday, I think. My certification or my validation that my exemption was approved. They can't take it away from me, things like that. So, in case something absolutely insane happens, at least I'm secure in that job. very much, Joe. Uh, if anybody feels led to do so, there's We the People. There's his PayPal. Coral, there ain't nothing about me that says work in retail. I couldn't do it. I promise you, I couldn't do it. I mean, if it came down to it and I absolutely had to, I'd try. I'm not. I'm not that kind of people person. I mean, it took me a month or so to even get comfortable enough to run a register at Circle K. That's just thank you. Have a good day. I couldn't. It's 8:35. I'm going to read. I might turn on some different lights here. Uh, I'm going to read the book of Matthew, chapter 24, which I know is a very popular chapter. And then we're just going to kind of have an open chat, open panel. If anybody wants to jump up here, I pinned the link up at the top of the chat. We're just going to kind of compare and see where, things that correspond with that book and where we're at now and the things going on everywhere. Check here. Okay, man. I'll have to do it. All right. Hey, Prepper Book Club, how are you doing? We is going great. Getting ready to get into the book of Matthew, chapter 24. As soon as I can see. There we go. And I don't have glasses tonight, so bear with me. I might be reading it. As Jesus was leaving the temple grounds, his disciples pointed out to him the various temple buildings. But he responded, "Do you see all these buildings? I tell you the truth, they will be completely demolished. Not one stone will be left on top of another." Later, Jesus sat on the Mount of Olives. His disciples came to him privately and said, "Tell us, when will this all happen? What signs will signal your return and the end of the world?" Jesus told them, "Don't let anyone mislead you, for many will come in my name, claiming I am the Messiah. They will deceive many, and you will hear of wars and threats of war, but don't panic. Yes, these things must take place, but the end won't follow immediately. Nations will go to war against nations, and kingdom against kingdom. There will be famine and earthquakes in many parts of the world, but all this is only the first of the birth pains, with more to come. Then you will be arrested, persecuted, and killed. You will be hated all over the world because you are my followers, and many will turn away from me and betray and hate each other, and many false prophets will appear and will deceive many people. Sin will be rampant everywhere, and the love of many will grow cold. But the one who endures to the end will be saved. And the good news about the kingdom will be preached throughout the whole world, so that all nations will hear it, and then the end will come. The day is coming when you will see what Daniel the prophet spoke about, the sacrilegious object that causes desecration, standing in the holy place. Then those in Judea must flee to the hills. A person out on the deck of a roof must not go down into the house to pack. A person out in the field must not return even to get a coat. How terrible it will be for pregnant women and for nursing mothers in those days. And pray that your flight will not be in winter or on the Sabbath. For in those days, for there will be greater anguish than any time since the world began, and it will never be so great again. In fact, unless the time of calamity is shortened, not a single person will survive, but it will be shortened for the sake of God's chosen ones. And if anyone tells you, "Look, here is the Messiah," or there he is, don't believe it, for false messiahs and false prophets will rise up and perform great signs and wonders, so as to deceive, if possible, even God's chosen ones. See, I have warned you about this ahead of time. So if anyone tells you, "Look, the Messiah is out in the desert," don't bother to go and look. Or, "Look, he is hiding here," don't believe it. For as the lightning flashes in the east and shines to the west, so it will be when the Son of Man comes. Just as the gathering of vultures shows there is a carcass nearby, so these signs indicate that the end is near, immediately after the anguish of those days. The sun will be darkened, the moon will give no light, the stars will fall from the sky, and the powers in the heavens will be shaken. And then at last, the sign that the Son of Man is coming will appear in the heavens, and there will be deep mourning among all the peoples of the earth, and they will see the Son of Man coming on the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. And he will send out his angels with the mighty blast of a trumpet, and they will gather his chosen ones from all over the world, from the farthest end of the earth and heaven. Now learn a lesson from the fig tree. When its branches bud and its leaves begin to sprout, you know the summer is near. In the same way, when you see all these things, you can know his return is very near, right at the door. I tell you the truth, this generation will not pass from the scene until all things take place. Heaven and earth will disappear, but my words will never disappear. However, no one knows the day or hour when these things will happen, not even the angels in heaven or the Son himself. Only the Father knows. When the Son of Man returns, it will be like it was in the days of Noah. In those days, before the flood, the people were enjoying banquets and parties and weddings right up to the time Noah entered his boat. People didn't realize what was going to happen until the flood came and swept them all away. That is why it will be when the Son of Man comes. That is the way it will be when the Son of Man comes. Sorry. Two men will be working together in the field. One will be taken, the other left. Two women will be grinding flour at the mill. One will be taken, the other left. So you too must keep watch, for you don't know what day your Lord is coming. Understand this. If a homeowner knew exactly when a burglar was coming, he would keep watch and not permit his house to be broken into. You also must be ready all the time, for the Son of Man will come when least expected. A faithful, sensible servant is one to whom the master can give the responsibility of managing his other household servants and feeding them. If the master returns and finds that the servant has done a good job, there will be a reward. I tell you the truth, the master will put that servant in charge of all he owns. But what if the servant is evil and thinks my master won't be back for a while, and he begins beating the other servants, partying and getting drunk? The master will return unannounced and unexpected, and he will cut the servant to pieces and assign him a place with the hypocrites. Although no one knows exactly what this temple looked like, it must have been beautiful. Herod had helped the Jews remodel the beauty and beautify it, no doubt to stay on friendly terms with his subjects. Next to the inner temple were the sacred objects where the sacred objects were kept and the sacrifices offered. There was a large area called the Court of the Gentiles, where the money changers and merchants had their booths. Outside these courts were long porches. Solomon's colonnade was 1,562 feet long, and the royal colonnades was decorated with 160 columns stretching along its 921-foot length. Gazing at this glorious and massive structure, the disciples found Jesus' words about its destruction difficult to believe. The temple was indeed destroyed only 40 years later when the Romans sacked Jerusalem in AD 70. Jesus was sitting at the Mount of Olives, the very place where the prophet Zechariah had predicted that the Messiah would stand when he came to establish his kingdom. This was a fitting place for the disciples to ask Jesus when he would come to power and what they could expect then. Jesus' reply emphasized the events that would take place before the end of the world. He pointed out that his disciples should be less concerned with knowing the date and more concerned with being prepared. Be more concerned with being prepared, living God's way consistently so that no matter when Jesus returned, they would be ready. The disciples asked Jesus for the sign of his coming and of the end of the world, which for them meant the day of judgment when God would fulfill the hope of the Jews. Jesus' first response was, "Don't let anyone mislead you." The fact is that whenever we look for signs, predictions, or conspiracies, we become very susceptible to being deceived. There are many prophets around with counterfeit signs of spiritual power and authority. The only sure way to keep from being deceived is to focus on Jesus and his words. Don't look for specific signs and don't spend time looking at other people. Look at Jesus. Every generation wonders if the wars they see mean the end of the world. When Jerusalem was destroyed in AD 70, it must have seemed like the end was near. World War II saw all nations at war and millions of Jews killed. Then Israel became its own nation again. Surely these seemed like signs of the end. Today we face threats of terrorism and nuclear devastation, but God still rules the world. Jesus told us not to panic. Wars or other catastrophic events will not be the coming signs of his return. He will return when he decides and commands. The Old Testament frequently mentions false prophets. False prophets claim to receive messages from God, but they preached military success to and economic prosperity. They said that the king and the people they said what the king and the people wanted to hear, ignoring their nation's responsibility to follow God. There are still false prophets today. They are often the popular leaders who tell people what they want to hear, such as God wants you to be rich. Do whatever your desires tell you, or sin and hell are not real. Jesus said false teachers would come, and he warned his disciples, as he warns us, not to listen to their dangerous words, which sound good, but lead us away from the God of truth. With false teachings and loose morals comes a particularly destructive disease, the loss of true love for God and others. Sin cools your love for God and your sensitivity to the needs of others by turning your focus on yourself. You cannot truly love if you only think only of yourself. Jesus said that before he returns, the good news about the kingdom will be preached throughout the world. This was the disciples' mission, and it is ours today. Jesus talked about the end of the times and talked about the end times and final judgment to show his followers the urgency of spreading the good news of salvation to everyone. All Jesus' teachings and promises are reliable because he is God. We can take them to heart and make them the foundation of our lives because they are eternal. It is good that we don't know exactly when Jesus will return. If we knew the date, we might be tempted to stop our work for him and only gather for worship. Worse yet, we might plan to keep sinning and then turn to God right at the end. Heaven is not our only goal. We have work to do here, and we must keep on doing it until death or until we see the unmistakable return of our Savior. Jesus gave certain details about his return, not to stimulate predictions and calculations about when he is coming again, but to warn his people to be consistently vigilant and spiritually prepared. We must be diligent in spreading the good news and living according to God's word. Jesus wants us to spend the way taking care of his people and doing his work here on earth. This is the best way to prepare for Jesus' return. Knowing that his return will be sudden and unexpected, we should not live irresponsibly without nothing, or doing nothing, or seeking selfish pleasure. We have plenty to do. Will you be ready? I'm going to go back to the beginning, I think, just all the way back to where they were looking at the temple. And Jesus said, "Do you see all these buildings? I tell you the truth, they will be completely demolished. Not one stone will be left on top of another." Now, and like the note said, how many times has people seen this or thought, "Oh, that's it. It's time. Oh, we're here. Jesus is coming back." I mean, one thing that I think about, because everything, the Bible is, to me, it's a book of puzzles, codes. Like, I think, it's, you can set three people side by side, tell them to read the same chapter, and then write down what they got out of that chapter. Every person's going to get a different thing. Then you can read it yourself again, and you might get a different message. You can read it a third time, the same chapter, and possibly get another message. And like in our generation, the Twin Towers could easily be, like the temples, where because everybody was, that was like, they were beautiful, they were a marvel, whatever, and then they were just gone. Nobody even, nobody thought that was possible for something like that to happen. Hey, Richard Christopher, good to see you. Did I see that farmer son? There he is. Good to see you, farmer son, President. and the false messiahs and false prophets. I mean, that's been a thing for. I remember as a kid, you know, seeing the crazies getting hauled away, saying they killed people in the name of Jesus, and God told them to do it, and things like that. So, I mean, I guess I understand that every generation goes through their own series of events that correspond, almost perfectly. Like it said here, back in Germany, World War II, with all the Jews, they were put to death. And of course, yep, it's here. We're on the way out. There it is. You know, here we are. Wars, rumors of war. Well, clearly that's going on right now. But that's been going on for, you know, hundreds of years. There's always rumors of wars. And nations rising against nation and kingdom against kingdom. Do I personally think we're in the end times? I absolutely do. But I'm also saying that it's perfect. It's, for the naysayers that no, this has been going on forever, and they're right too. Every generation has their own series of events that would lead you to believe that Jesus is coming back. But you also got to take into effect that 1,000 years is 1 year, in biblical times. I think I got that right. If not, I look like a fool. But so, 1,000 years is not what we picture as 1,000 years to God. That's like him snapping his finger. But I personally, I mean, I think we are in the end. Oh, and the famine, and the earthquakes in all kinds of places. And, clearly that's been going on. The famine, that's clearly becoming a thing. I mean, not becoming, I mean, it is. It's it's going to get a lot worse. I mean, we're not starving to death yet, but I do think we're well on our way. And, I don't think any kind of election is going to matter at this point. I don't think, it don't matter who's in office. I really don't think it's going to matter this late in the game. I think what's done is done, and I don't think it's meant to be reversed this time. Again, that's my personal opinion. And again, if anybody wants to come up and join me, I pinned the link to the top of the chat. If anybody wants to hop on and talk about it with me, or just have a different opinion about it, or I mean, just a fresh voice to talk about it. Where did you get? Sorry, I my mouth. Where did you get the love pillow behind? Mandy got that for me for Christmas. I absolutely agree with that. I mean, regardless, if I mean, if we are, say somehow you did know that Jesus was coming back August 23rd, 2024, you're still going to have to be brave, braver than you've ever been your entire life. I mean, even if you did know he's coming, you can't just, because you're going to be fearful at the same time, and you're going to be joyful. If that makes sense, it makes sense to me. I've seen that too, Sherry. Where they're just taking them and dropping them off wherever. And basically, have a nice day, and they just let them go. I love hearing the chicks in the background making their back for the day. Yeah, I like that sound too. That's why, because we got so much stuff going on in the living room anyway. The kid making T-shirts and whatnot. I'm like, oh, I'll just put them in there with me. People might like that on live stream. So they'll be in here for the next month or so. Let's see. What else is in here? And now learn a lesson from the fig tree. When its branches bud and leaves begin to sprout, you know the summer is near. In the same way, when you see all these things, you can know his return is very near, right at the door. I tell you the truth, this generation will not pass from the scene until all things take place. Heaven and earth will disappear, but my words will never disappear. Now, I want to get your guys' opinion on that because that's one thing that I've had questions about. Where it says, I tell you the truth, this generation will not pass from the scene until all things take place. So, does that mean, okay, say, like, if it did, start the birth pains, like at World War II, where there's still plenty of people alive that went through that, that time period. So, does that mean, there's so many questions I have with that. Like, and that also comes from, that people, that these particular things have been happening for the last 2,000 years. War and, the temple being destroyed. I mean, of course, back then they thought, this is it. This is the end of the world. And here we are 2,000 years later. So, which I guess that just no man will know the time, of course, but I don't know. That's just one thing that's always puzzled me. This generation will not pass. I agree with that. And that's absolutely true. Planning our futures and our families, safety and success is all I know how to do. The stuff going on, it will always be something else. Things change, but the big things never change. That is true. And that's, yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, that's where I'm at too. Whether the Lord would come back next week or 36 years from now or 120 years from now or, another 1,000 years from now, things that we need to take care of shouldn't change. I mean, regardless, we still got the same set of goals, principles, duties, no matter the day. You will. It's absolutely true. And no matter when it is, I mean, we, there's a lot of suffering. That's what I kind of like to think I'm doing here on Sunday nights, babes. You know what I mean? Like, I've never made no problems with letting y'all know I'm far from, perfect. I try, I think I'm a good guy. I'm a nice guy, good person, I think. But, I have my faults and everybody does. You know, if, I cuss. I try not to. I work on it. I really do. I mean, and I have to be pretty riled up usually to get on a good rant. But, you know, I don't, and I already know some folks in here disagree with it, but I truly don't think cussing will send you to hell. I mean, like the Lord's name in vain, stuff like that. I don't do. I do not do it, and I won't. Um, I have to be on the verge of an absolute nervous breakdown or just absolutely seeing red. And I have said it before, and I immediately ask for forgiveness. But just cussing, I really, I don't think that's going to condemn somebody to hell. I don't. And if I'm wrong, I'll find out, I suppose. But you know, absolutely, cat lady. That's kind of where I'm going with it. I mean, I'll cuss and carry on, and you know, I'll drink a beer or have a mixed drink every once in a while. I actually sit outside and drink a beer today because I worked my butt off all weekend. I'm gonna sit down and have a beer. I think I deserve it, so I did that. But I wake up, I give thanks for another day. I go to bed at night, I pray, give thanks for another day, and providing for us. You know, Same here. Like I said, I've said it very, very few times. I am guilty of it, and I've asked for forgiveness. And that's, like I said, absolutely seeing red. Like either I've hurt myself bad or something. Something bad has happened. But I mean, it has slipped a couple times. He is probably in his bed because it sounds like it's gotten very quiet in there. So they might have all went to bed. He gets locked up at night now because he can't be trusted to be by himself. What did y'all think of that? See, I told you the attention span of a squirrel. Tank's leg is great. It's completely healed. Not even a limp. He's really good. I could see what I could find. I mean, absolutely, absolutely. Oh, okay. From going in and out, I was like playing peekaboo. What? Then yeah, sorry. Our combo will be cool where we're used to. Like I said, I think our best move would not be a convoy. Just park the trucks. That's my personal opinion. I think ours will end up in a very, very bad situation. Agreed. Absolutely agreed. Mr. B's absolutely right. I've been there. I have been there. The graphic has zero to do with the government of either country. It's about the people. Absolutely. I kind of think that too, Mames. I thought that from the word jump that signing up for it is kind of I think he would just show up like a rally point, kind of do it on an underground kind of thing. Not have a public forum and a sign up, and that's a name catch is all that is. I think we got a visitor.
Hey,
What's up?
brother, how you doing?
Making it. How you doing?
Oh man, I am sore, tired, just frustrated as can be. Um, as far as the trucker convoy goes,
Well, I didn't do that. I didn't touch anything. I hope he comes back. I have not seen the baby goats, cat lady. Yeah, and we now know what that big wall going up around the White House is for. Kind of a premonition, huh? Like something was planned. See, there's too many things that go together. Grateful Dead tour. I'm not a Canadian. I don't even like Canada as a place, as far as I know. I like all the people I met from Canada that are here every day with us wanting freedom the same as us. That's why I support them. Absolutely. Now, I can't say I don't like Canada because Canada has been on my bucket list for as long as I can remember. I want to go to Canada so bad. And clearly, that's not going to happen anytime soon. But I've always wanted to go to Canada. People on every overpass holding big banners that say "Honk if you love freedom." We support you. Absolutely. Oh, it'll be quite a show. I mean, if it actually gets up off the ground and, they leave people alone and just let them have a peaceful, it could be a cool thing. I just really don't feel it's going to be as peaceful as it was in Canada. I think the powers that be here will make sure of that. Take two. Now, what was you getting ready to say about the convoy? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah.
What was you getting ready to say about the convoy?
You can just jump into the convoy. You don't have to sign up or anything like that. For some reason, I'm getting a double take on you again. uh, yeah, I can hear you. It doubles on me.
Huh.
I don't know what's going on with it, but yeah, you can just jump in on the convoy. There it went again.
It sounds good on my end.
I'm going to back out again and see if I can't fix this.
Alrighty. We cannot depend on the truckers to do the heavy lifting. If we want to live free, we need to live free. Absolutely. Absolutely. Exercise your no muscle. That's over Bear Independent. Just practice using your no muscle. Tell them no. But you can't do that. You got to do this. No. You got to put this on. No. You got to get this jab. No. And that's right. Everybody needs to exercise the no muscle.
I'm
How about now?
all problems. It wasn't closing down the other window for some reason, but yeah. Yeah, I've got a bunch of friends that are actually rolling with the convoy. They're up there right now in Canada. One of them had his truck towed off, and he got hauled off to jail because he wouldn't remove it off the bridge. So I mean, it is what it is. These guys are fighting for our freedoms. It's not just about them and not wanting to wear a mask and get vaccines and all that. It's about everybody's freedom here. Now, the plan, from what I understand, is they're going to roll it into D.C. Sometime in the beginning of next month, around the first of the month or so. And they're going to basically take formation around on the loop around D.C. and shut it down. That's my understanding of it.
Well, I thought it was supposed to start out in California around.
It's already starting to head this way. From what I understand, they're going to be in Nebraska before too much longer.
Oh,
yeah. I mean, they've already got. From what I understand, there was a little over 1,000 trucks in it so far.
Good deal. I just hope
it's going to be.
I just hope it stays peaceful.
Well, you know how this supposed president is. he's going to wind up calling the National Guard in on them and try to prevent them from even getting close to DC. That's what I think is going to happen here. You know,
And it won't take much to make it a very bad situation.
oh yeah, I mean, you got a bunch of pissed off truck drivers, 80,000 pounds, some of them hauling fuel, even. I mean, it could turn real bad real quick. So, and just because I've come in off the road doesn't mean I don't still keep up with my friends that are out there.
Absolutely,
I mean,
man.
I've been doing it forever, it seems like, and so I made a lot of friends out over the road over the years. And I stay in contact with them. They tell me what's up, and a lot of them have been getting really screwed over a lot lately, and they're fed up with all this mandate stuff. They're getting turned down for loads because they're not vaccinated and so forth. What the hell do they need to be vaccinated for? They're back there by themselves 99% of the time.
Absolutely.
And I'm trying to keep it PG-13, but
You're good. Hey, Green Thumb, good to see you, Sean.
If my health was better, I could go back out over the road, but my health's gotten too bad for that after I got COVID. I've been in and out of the hospital, doctors. I mean, I wound up selling off my bug out location just to pay that off. So
I hate to hear that.
And then I lost my job last week not this past week, the week before on Wednesday. So things have gotten bad. Won't be long before I won't have any power here. I'll have to be running off generators. So it is what it is. It seems like no matter how hard you try, the devil's going to slap you down any way you go.
Every chance he gets.
Oh
But
yeah,
he only wins. He only wins if we quit trying, though.
Yeah, he likes to really slap me pretty good sometimes. But so far, I'm not out on the street, so I'm still good.
Right.
And things can always be worse. That's the way I look at it. And think about it. Back in 2015, I was homeless, living under a bridge. Now, I built back up. If it gets taken away, I'll have to work to build it up again. At least this time I'll have my preps and stuff, though. So, I'll take a hot tent and go live in the woods.
Absolutely. And we probably be better off.
Yeah. The way things are going, yeah. I mean, I survived living in North Carolina on the streets. I'd go out into the woods and hunt and trap and fish and all that. I didn't even have nothing but a damn pocket knife with me at that time. I survived for over a year out there living like that. So I can do it again if I need to. I just somebody, Marine, asked if I could take retirement. I ain't quite old enough for that. I'm only 50, Marine. I still got a ways to go before I can retire. Heck, I can't even get my money out of the 401k. That would save my butt, but I've been trying to do that, and they've been fighting me on it. So it is what it is.
I was wondering the same thing. What's on the bottom half of your shirt?
It's just your wife, my wife.
Oh, okay. It's like there's got to be more to that.
Yeah, we're, I'm a little more perverse than what your channel is. I don't have a problem with getting sexual, talking, all that kind of stuff. I'm pretty much open to everything.
Hey, Chris Pyatt, good to see you.
Even even in an SHTF, you're still going to want to have sex and stuff, so you need to plan that out too. So, and I've made videos on that. Safety precautions, things you can do to, roots and berries and stuff that'll help to prevent pregnancy and all that kind of stuff. So,
That's a trucker's mud flat.
Just be glad you can't see half the pictures hanging up in my bedroom here. Yeah. And a lot of people have already given me flack about my rebel flag back there, but you know what? I don't care. It's not about racism. You know,
Absolutely.
anybody that thinks it is an idiot. You know.
Uh-oh.
What?
Got a baby sleeping.
Oh Lord. Oh,
Hi, everybody.
boy, that one's a youngin'.
Look up here. Say hi.
Hi.
Tell him hi.
Hi.
Blow him kisses. Blow him kisses.
Give him kisses. Tell him
Thank
bye-bye.
God most of mine are grown.
Blow him kisses.
Oh.
Blow him kisses.
Tell him bye-bye.
Say bye-bye.
Blow him kisses.
Blow him. Tell him bye-bye.
Kisses.
Bye-bye.
Like this is off.
Oh, now my fur baby's wanting to get up here into
Get a
the
finger in.
show.
You always on the bed.
Go lay down, Chance.
Thank you.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night. Tell her bye. Oh,
Now, how old is that one?
Just turned a year last month.
say bye-bye.
Oh, Lord, I have been away way too long.
Oh no, it's not ours. We're just
I've only
babies.
been gone. I've only been gone since July. You know, COVID really knocked me out. I barely have the energy to do anything anymore.
Oh, I feel you.
A lot of the side effects from it, that neuropathy, it's killing me. It's weakened all my muscles, my joints. They're constantly, I mean, it's all I can do to get enough sleep to be able to function during the day.
Yeah, that's one thing I've noticed since I had COVID is they don't take. I usually got a couple of good hours in me, and then I start wearing down, and I get tired so easy now.
And I mean, being an over the road trucker, I was used to being up 18 to 20 hours a day, sleep 4 hours and go, but now, I mean, if I don't at least get 6 or 8 hours, I'm screwed. It's got me knocked out pretty bad. My wife, she had COVID. She got over it like that, and it hasn't affected her. I still haven't got my sense of smell and taste back.
That was about a month and a half, 2 months for me. It came back.
Well, the doctors are hoping. They said that it can take sometimes up to a year for you to get it back, and they're hoping I'll get it back, somewhere around July or so. But I'm not looking at positive on that. It's nothing ever tastes the same now. I can't even eat bacon without it tasting nasty, and I'm a huge meat eater.
Right. Now that's what Mandy's went through. She said still nothing tastes the same at all, and she can still barely smell. And that's been. Well, we had it back in September, I think.
Yeah. Well, a lot of the stuff that I eat or even smell, it's kind of like the smell of wet, hot trash. That's what I smell all the time. And like when I'm eating something, I'll get that smell going, and it just turns me off of wanting to eat anything. Because everything I'm eating smells like that, and I'm like, man, you got to choke it down sometimes. And I mean, these are foods that I love. Pork chops, chicken, all that stuff. It all tastes and smells weird to me.
Have you? Flowground asked, were you ever vaxxed? Not being nosy, I just feel the ones without actually bounce back faster than the ones with it.
No, I haven't been, and I have no plan on it, especially after I seen the effect that it had on my baby brother. And I've lost a couple of friends shortly after they got vaxxed. I had a friend that lived like 3 blocks away, he got his second dose of the vax. 2 days later, he got up to go to the kitchen and dropped dead of an aneurysm. Perfectly healthy 36-year-old guy up until that. Never had any health problems. My brother, my youngest brother, he's still not mentally right. They're still trying to get it caused a chemical imbalance in his brain, and he became hyper aggressive and just hateful as can be. And he was a nice guy. Now we don't even talk. I mean, he made passes at my wife. He came on to my wife, and so I mean, they're still trying to get his meds straightened out to try to get him back to normal. It cost him his job, almost cost him his marriage. I mean, so I'm not taking that chance after I've seen what it can do.
Try to boil ginger root and drink the tea. It would help get your taste back.
I have to give that a shot. It can't hurt anything. I mean, granted, I'm not that hopped up on the taste of ginger, but hey, if it works, I'd be happy as could be.
Right.
Because I mean, I miss being able to taste my bacon. I had bacon for dinner tonight, and I didn't even taste it. That's how bad it is. It tastes like cardboard to me.
That's too expensive to not taste.
Oh, I know. And ours is farm fresh bacon. I got a buddy that butchered a hog not long ago, and he gave me about 20 pounds of bacon. So,
Yeah, I think I've actually talked about it on here that some of the folks that I personally know that have taken the vax, you can tell a change in them, like personality, attitude. A lot of it's like the thing. Like what I've noticed is, like they just, I don't know, like things you would normally, like most anyone would kind of be concerned about or worry about, or oh well, it is what it is. That kind of attitude, and kind of come across more hateful to where they really weren't before.
I got a friend that he's lucky to remember his name anymore after he got the vax. His memory has just gone totally loopy on him, and he's only like 42 years old, and he got vaxxed, and after he got his second dose, he started having some memory loss, but he was still doing good. And now it's been 8 or 9 months since he'd got it, and he it's all he can do to remember who he is and where he's going. So I'll stay pure blood. It's not worth it to me.
Right. Hey, Phoenix, good to see you.
And I was reading an article today that actually verifies that our immune systems, if we've already had COVID, they have a memory to them, and that even with the new variants coming out, we're better equipped to fight those variants with our natural immune system than we are even with the vax. So that's just what I was reading, and it was mainstream media that actually published that. So
yeah,
it shocked me.
And it is weird that mainstream is starting to publish stuff like that. What we've been saying for the last year.
Almost 2 now. Yeah, just about 2 years. I mean,
that's
we've been harping on it. I mean, I prefer, and I'm not an anti-vaxxer. I mean, I've had all of my childhood immunizations and all that.
Right.
But when it comes to a vax that even the animal trials failed at, I don't want that. I don't need that. It couldn't even make it past animal trials. Why would I want to put that in my body? If I'm gonna do that, I might as well just take up Joe Biden's offer to give me a damn crack pipe. I had to throw that in there somewhere.
Yeah, I'm totally. Anybody that's got it, I mean, I don't treat people any differently. Or if you got it, you got it. If you don't, you don't. I mean, that's the beautiful thing that living here, it should be your choice. If you feel more
Yeah,
comfortable
that's
for getting it, get it. If not, don't.
that's the way I look at it. It's personal choice. If I make a choice and it winds up killing me, then that's on me.
Right.
But if you make a choice that kills you, that's on you. I mean, we're all supposed to be responsible for our own individual health and well-being, our mental state and everything. Well, then let me make my own damn choices. Don't try to put a needle in my arm when I don't want one.
Absolutely. And that sums it up right there. I'm not anti-vax. I'm anti this vax.
Right. I mean, and I'm not anti-government. I'm a constitutional government. I want the government back the way that the Constitution says it should be. It's supposed to be a small government, not this overreaching BS that we have right now. Take it back down to where all the government's job is to run the military, keep the lights on in the country, and stay the hell out of everybody's business.
I'm good with that.
Yeah. Leave me to live my life. I can't pursue my happiness if you're trying to interfere.
Right.
That's just my point of view. And I know a lot of people that agree with it. A lot of people disagree with it. A lot of people think, oh, well, the government should be able to step in and for the safety of other people. Well, those people are responsible for their own safety. If they think I'm endangering them, stay the hell away from me. It's that simple.
You're absolutely right.
I don't know a whole lot of people that really want to take this vax. I know several that have taken it because they were forced to because of their jobs and so forth. And I told several of my friends because they said that they were going to get it because their job was forcing them. I'm like, find a different job. I go, the mandates are unconstitutional, and sure enough, they were proven unconstitutional. So
that's what I hated seeing. I know a lot of personal, my daughter's childhood friend. When this first came out, they first just started talking about healthcare workers had to get it. She ran out and got it because she was going to lose her job if she didn't. I'm like, you're 19 years old. Who cares?
Right.
Get a different job. It's not like you're invested in a career. You started there 6 months ago. You got a choice. But it's just
if you were like some of my family members that have been in it for 20, 25 years, you got something invested, and even my family members, most of them refused to get the vax. I had a couple of nieces that went ahead and got vaxxed, but to keep their healthcare jobs. But hey, that was their choice. I didn't, I gave them the facts. They did their research and they figured, okay, well, I'll give it a shot. And it's taken its toll on their health even. So, and when they keep changing the side effects of the supposed virus to match up with the side effects of their vaccine, that should tell you that the vaccine is the problem, not the virus.
All right.
And how often have you ever heard of a 12 to 15-year-old having a heart attack? Now they're acting like, oh, it's a common occurrence. Well, it's only a common occurrence because you've been forcing this needle into these kids' arms.
Right. It's happening a lot.
Oh yeah. And I live in, of course, I live in the stupidest state here, in Illinois, and the whale that we have as a governor, he's, oh man, oh, now they're going to lift the mandates. Yeah, because you're losing in the polls.
Right. Yeah, all of Indiana's ends March 1st. Yeah. We're a red state, but we have a lot of blue counties. God, I don't know how we're honestly.
I mean, Indianapolis, I know, is the worst there.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, geez.
Well,
they're a mini Chicago, really. I mean,
yeah.
I hate going anywhere around Indy.
Yeah, we have a town about 45 minutes where Coral Tigger, she's here in chat. She lives over there around Bloomington, and it's where IU campus is at. The Hoosiers.
Yeah.
Oh my God, dude, it's bad over there. I mean, they still like you got to have a mask to go in Sam's Club or Walmart, and I mean it hasn't been that way here, and we're just a county over. Well, 2 counties over, and we haven't had mask mandates here in months.
Yeah. It's gotten sad. It really has. The amount of people that are still brainwashed by mainstream media and by all the BS that the government is pushing. They're only pushing this stuff to gain more power, and people, most of the country has woke up to this, but there are still a large swath of people that they're still following along, playing along with it. Most of them are nut jobs, in my opinion.
You got to wonder what the new narrative is. You know, like why is mainstream now starting to say that the jabs are starting, they're causing these things, and they're actually starting to focus on the food shortages and where they were.
Because it's getting harder. It's getting harder for them to hide it. There are so many instances that are coming to light by other sources of media, and they can't debunk it or anything because it's true what's coming out. So they're slowly trying to lean that way to say, oh, okay, well, maybe this, maybe that. And then after they say maybe, then they'll go, okay, a real high probability. And then the next thing you know, it's going to be, okay, yes, this is happening because, they're trying to cover their ass is the way I look at it.
They're finally realizing that the whole, Joe Biden party is sinking, and I think they want to salvage what's left of their corporation.
Yeah. The rats are abandoning ship.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. I mean, that's exactly what it is.
But see, they've already done their damage to themselves. Nobody is ever really going to trust them ever again.
CNN I mean, they're one scandal after another,
I mean, CNN has more workers than they have viewers. So, that kind of shows you. And they keep having people arrested at CNN for pedophilia, I mean, there's been like 3 or 4 so far that I can think of that have been walked out of there in cuffs for pedophilia. So it just goes to show where the real problem is at. It's not with the general population. It's with the elites.
And that's a point too. They might be turning it around to actually try to make Biden look better. That's a good possibility too.
Yeah,
but he still gets up there every other day and just lies. Every press conference, lies. Time.
I mean, you remember during his bid to become president, he was saying anybody that's responsible for as many deaths as what Trump was supposedly responsible for the COVID, that they should not be president. Well, then he's more than triple the amount of deaths in less than a year. So, I mean, come on, resign, get the hell out of there, take all your cronies with you, but that'll never happen.
No.
I mean, they've already got too much power, and they just keep assigning themselves more and more power. And I don't look for any of the elections to be fair or legal. They're going to be tainted. I mean, that's
since they shut down, where they was trying to pass all the new voting laws, and like, no, and we need ID to vote and this and that. Then Biden the very next day, well, the November the Olympics, the November elections, there's no way they can be fair now and stuff like. He's already set that up conflict.
Yep, trying to cover his own.
He's already said that it's going to be crooked and the Democrats can't win, and of course they can't.
Of course they can't win because of their policies that they've been enacting over the last year. I mean, nobody wants. I don't want to keep paying almost $4 a gallon for fuel. I mean, I was working 30 miles from my house. It was costing me $130 a week to drive back and forth in a 6-cylinder vehicle.
Oh, I feel you.
I mean, and now if I get the job that I'm trying for, well, any of the jobs I've been trying for, they're all up in Effingham, Illinois. So you're looking at 45 miles,
Right.
So it's a good little drive, So that'll mean I'll be burning even more in fuel. So
yeah, I have an H3, which, I mean, the disadvantage of that is it's heavy.
Yep.
It's a 5-cylinder. It's like what they put in the little Chevy Colorados back when they first came out. I mean, it's just a 5-cylinder. They're not built for speed, but they'll go about anywhere. But that thing's costing me $80 a week just to drive back.
My dog out of the room.
Just to drive back and forth to Brownstown. $80 a week, and that's and our gas is still below $3.50 a gallon. I can't imagine. Like I seen out in Cali today, there's some places gouging up. I think it was $6.38 a gallon in California.
Oh yeah, we're at $3.50 a gallon over here where I live. Okay, they're saying by summer $4 and $4.25.
I'd say we'll be there going because we're right below. I think. Let's see, Friday morning, I think we were at 340 in Brownstown, right at like 339, something like that.
Yeah, I would love to go back down that to that actually, being $3.50 a gallon. Well, it's 349.9, so you might as well say $3.50 a gallon.
Maine says 329 here, and she lives in Missouri.
Well, Missouri's always cheaper. If I wind up losing everything here in this state, I'm going to Missouri or Arkansas. I'll get the heck out of this area. I've had enough of Illinois.
375 in PA.
Jeez.
350 down in the Carolinas. 349 Central Florida. Yeah, Green Thumb, he's up in Canada as we speak. $7 a gallon.
Oh, yeah. I don't get me wrong. Most of the people in Canada, great people. I've been up there many a time. The government up there, worse government than what we've got here, and that's saying something. But I couldn't live up there because of the weather. For one, it gets way too damn cold. They charged me $20 re-entry fee to get back into the States from up there. And I told them when I was leaving, I'm like, y'all lowballed yourself. I would have gave you everything in my damn wallet to get the hell out of here as cold as it was. I mean, it was, and the price of food up there, oh my God. And it's been years since I've been up there, but I mean, way back when I went up there, I was paying $10 for a damn plain cheeseburger.
Well, me and Sean,
that was ridiculous.
Green Thumb Prepper, Sean, we was talking the other night. I think when it comes down to it, after the exchange, like our dollar versus theirs, like it all comes out. It's almost the same. If you know what I mean, like their prices compared to ours and their income, and once you do the exchange and everything, it all pretty much equals out. But they're still higher on a lot of things.
They're higher on a lot of things. They don't, I don't like the, I mean, a lot of them like their healthcare system up there. I don't care for a communist healthcare system like that. You wind up needing a heart transplant or whatever. You're on the waiting list so long you're dead before you ever get to it. That's why a lot of them come down here to have heart transplants and stuff done. Because it's easier to get down here than it is up there because there's a socialized medicine. You can go up there and get your prescriptions a lot easier.
Names, I bet that's why you wanted me to check my Discord. I did see that the other night when you sent it to me, but it was like 1:30 in the morning, and I wasn't about to message you back. But I am very interested in that. We're thinking about doing one of the vendor booths there. And doing T-shirts and stuff. If I can get the girls on board, it sounds like a pretty cool deal.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind going to a prepper expo. it killed me having to sell my bug out location, but I had to pay the doctor bills or they weren't going to see me anymore. You know, so we sold off what land we had and the buildings and everything, and I got enough to pay all my doctors and hospital bills up, and then pay for my brother's funeral, and that left me broke again. So
Yeah, I'm sorry to hear about your brother.
yeah, we could have gotten the government to pay for his pay for part of his funeral if they would have went ahead and put the fact that he had COVID down as a part of his death, because he did. He had COVID, but they put down that it was a heart attack because he had a weak heart, you know, and COVID just it was too much for his heart. He had COVID and pneumonia on top of that, and he went to get out of bed and dropped dead. You know, he was what, 53. So
I hate to hear that.
I mean, me and him, we didn't always have the best of relationship, but you know how brothers are, man. You're gonna fight, you're gonna bicker, you know. But when it came right down to it, we always had each other's backs. You know?
That's
I mean,
all.
he would. I met my wife at his house, and he wanted to be with my wife, and she chose me instead of him. And so every time he'd get drunk, I'd get drunk texts from him. You know, she's supposed to be with me, not you, right? You know, it was always comical. We'd sit here and laugh about it, and he'd never remember it the next day. I'd have to show him the text, say, hey, "See what you sent me while you were drunk." It was comical. But you know, I mean, to see him die like he did, I mean, because all of my life, you know, he was this big guy. He's like 6'4", and I mean, I seen this man pick up a big block 455 engine with his bare hands and toss it like it was a basketball, you know. So to see him like that, it was just, you know, it stunned me bad. You know, made me look at my own life and my health and everything and go,
Right.
am I next? You know, but, I mean, yeah, I'm getting up there in age, so you know, you're at that point where you got to expect that you'll probably lose siblings and all that. So, not something I'm looking forward to, considering most of my siblings don't have life insurance. So, the bill will wind up falling toward me.
We're almost around 7 till, so I'm gonna ask if anybody has any prayer requests in chat this evening. I've got B&B Homes, and Dan, I put you on there on our prayer list.
I appreciate that, brother.
No
I am going to have to back out of here though, because I'm supposed to go live at 9, so I got to get myself set up for that.
All right. Well, I appreciate you hanging out, man, and I'm gonna email you tomorrow, and we'll see what we can get set up. See if we can.
All right, man.
See what we can.
I appreciate you. I
All
do. I missed you. I missed being in the community. You know, being out for this long. I was just like, is anybody even going to remember me?
Oh,
but
you're pretty unforgettable, man.
All right, man. Well, you have a good night.
You too.
I'll talk to y'all later.
You too. Be safe.
Stay safe, man.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye. All righty. Let's see here. Dan is a good guy. Let's see. We got Loretta and Cat Lady's family. People of Ukraine and all the soldiers on both sides. Amen. Nana and Tim's move. Yeah, Mames, she's forming her quite a mag down there. Missouri's looking like the place to be. My coworker died today from an aneurysm. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry to hear that, Dawn. Wow. Man. Papa, have somebody throw up his link. Oh yeah, Joe or Mames or anybody, could you throw up We the People Prepping's link, please? I'd appreciate it. Chris Pyatt, great aunt, absolutely. James, I can't see it. I don't understand why it always blocks your prayer request. Sherry Leach, pray for benign biopsy. Absolutely. Yeah, Coral used to go through the same thing with prayer requests. Every time it blocked her. Every time. Yeah, I got to put James' name down. There we go. I wish I knew what the Lord has in store for me. Just tired of waiting to know what I feel you on that, James. I got you down. I seen it, Loretta. It finally came through. Absolutely. Do not get weary. Yeah, Green Thumb, I bought 8, got 6 left. I lost 2 of them. Let's see. All right. We are right at 10 o'clock. So I'm going to go ahead and end this. So then you need to buy 20 more. No, probably not for a while. I'm going to have to do some expanding before I add 20 more. Because this puts me up to 22, I think. I think 22. So So I will definitely have to be expanding. Probably have to do some expanding this spring, actually. I started some seeds in my greenhouse this week. Probably too early, but my garden brain is still in Texas time. I'm fighting the urge, mains, and I know I'm way early. Actually, if I wanted to do it indoors, I could go ahead and do some broccoli and stuff, and it wouldn't really be that early for broccoli and cauliflower, but I don't know. I'm going to give it a couple more weeks if I can. I've got the fever bad. I love growing plants. But I'm going to go ahead and close this out if there's no more prayer requests. And until next time, pray for this country. Pray for everything going on overseas, everywhere. I mean, it could pop off at any time. I'm torn on that. I don't know. Oh, hold on just a second. I did not see that, Chris. For your daughter and son-in-law. I did not see that one. I'm sorry. I seen the great aunt. Sorry about that. Thank you, Flow Grown, for being here. I appreciate it. All right, guys. Until next time, God bless y'all. I love you guys. And be safe.